Across the endless ocean, the steel fleet of America sails eastward. Ahead...
In 1944, the Pacific was on fire. Thousands of young men prepared to land on enemy shores.
American commanders marked 3 targets: Saipan, Iwo Jima, Okinawa. Capture them, and the road to Japan would finally open. In the darkness, Japanese soldiers waited, calm, silent, ready to die.
When the American fleet opened fire, the sky erupted in flame. The earth...
They stepped onto Iwo Jima, a small island drenched in blood. The battle for survival had just begun.
Iwo Jima, a speck of volcanic rock in the endless ocean.
Every soldier was told the Japanese would not surrender. This island was a fortress, and the only way forward was through fire.
As dawn broke on February 19, 1945, the U.S. fleet moved in. For 3 days, American warships unleashed hell. Every inch of Iwo Jima burned.
The first wave hit the beach. Black sand sucked at their boots. No gunfire, only silence. The calm before the slaughter. Then it began turmoil. From caves and tunnels, Japanese guns screamed to life. The beach turned into a killing ground. For each yard of ground, dozens fell. The black sand ran red, and victory seemed an ocean away.
Beneath their feet, an invisible army waited. Miles of tunnels hid thousands of defenders, ready to strike from the shadows.
When progress halted, air support thundered in. Bombs tore through rock, yet the defenders refused to die. The island began to stink of fire and death. The line between victory and survival grew thinner each day. All eyes turned to Mount Suribachi, the base, the volcanic heart of Iwo Jima. Whoever held it would command the island. Flamethrowers and grenades cleared one cave at a time. Each tunnel became a furnace, each victory a nightmare.
Snipers hunted from the ridges. A single bullet could end a hero's story before it began.
In the chaos, courage was found in friendship. They fought, not for medals, but for the man beside them.
At night, the Japanese struck back in waves. Bayonets met bullets' feet. The island howled with rage.
Day after day, the fighting never stopped. Time lost meaning for it. Only survival remained.
On the 5th day, a flag rose over Suribachi. Hope returned.
When the guns finally fell silent, 20,000 Japanese lay dead prunes, and America paid with 7,000 of its sons. Iwo Jima was taken breeze, but nothing was left untouched. The island was silent, only ghosts remained.
The world remembers Iwo Jima, not for conquest, but for sacrifice. Okinawa, they say, the last barrier before Japan, a peaceful island about...
On April 1, 1945, the Americans launched Operation Iceberg. 100...
The soldiers waited, calm, focused, hearts heavy. They knew this battle could decide the fate of the entire war. The invasion began smoothly, too smoothly. The Japanese had vanished from the beaches, waiting deep within the hills.
General Ushijima had prepared a fortress beneath the island, a labyrinth of tunnels designed to bleed the Americans dry.
As troops moved forward, the ground itself exploded. The trap was sprung to. Okinawa became a nightmare.
The skies opened, rain mixing with blood. Men fought knee-deep in mud, blind in smoke and thunder.
Kamikaze pilots rained from the sky. More than 1,500 suicide attacks turned the ocean into a sea of fire. Every hill became a fortress. Each step forward cost dozens of lives, a slow crawl through death itself. At the heart of the island stood the Shuri Line, the Tornes, a wall of stone and steel that refused to fall.
Above them, the skies burned. American and Japanese pilots danced their final duels in the storm of war.
For the islanders, there was no escape.
Families huddled in caves, trapped between two armies.
Nights on Okinawa were madness, fire, and screams, where men vanished into the darkness without a trace.
After weeks of relentless fighting, Shuri Castle fell. The Japanese army began to crumble, but refused to surrender.
In their final act of defiance, the last kamikaze dove from the sky.
The Americans answered with the rain of steel, fell. Endless bombardments that turned Okinawa into a wasteland.
Even in defeat, honor prevailed. Officers burned their flags and faced death rather than capture.
At sunrise, General Ushijima took his own life. His final act marked the death of the Japanese defense on Okinawa. When the smoke cleared, over 200,000 lay dead, soldiers and civilians alike. Okinawa was hell on earth. Okinawa opened the path to Japan fluent, but the victory was hollow. The cost had revealed the terrible price of invasion.
Saipan, the key to Japan's doorstep. Whoever controlled this island would command the skies and seas of the Pacific. On June 15, 1944, the American Armada arrived. A floating as the ramps dropped, Marines charged through water and fire. The invasion of Saipan had begun.
The Japanese defenses erupted in fury. The beach became a furnace where courage and death met face to face.
Every tree and rock hit a gun. The snipers of Saipan turned paradise into a deadly trap.
Tanks rolled ashore, grinding over wreckage. Metal clashed with metal as the island trembled under thunder.
In the town of Garapan, street by street, house by house gloamed, the battle raged through smoke and flame. Under cover of night, Japanese troops charged in silence, their battle cries breaking the darkness like thunder. Offshore, U.S. battleships unleashed a relentless storm. The island shook beneath a rain of steel.
Deeper inland, every bush hid death. The jungle swallowed men whole in its burning silence.
Then came the great Banzai charge. 3,000 men rushing to die in one final, furious storm. The Marines held their ground through sheer fire and courage.
For the island's civilians, there was no victory. Fear and despair consumed them as war closed in from all sides. The Japanese retreated north, making their last stand among the cliffs and caves of Mount Marpi.
In their final transmission, the defenders spoke. "This is the end. We give our lives for the Emperor."
Thousands leapt from the cliffs rather than surrender. The waves below became the grave of a generation.
When the guns finally stopped, silence fell across the island. Saipan was free and forever scarred.
3,000 Americans dead, 29,000 Japanese gone. The victory was written in blood.
From Saipan's new airfields, the U.S. would launch the B-29s, bombers that would soon strike the Japanese homeland. Pain changed everything. From this island, the Pacific lay silent. 3 islands, Iwo Jima, Okinawa, Saipan.
In victory and defeat, men bled the same color. Their courage burned brighter than flags or nations.
With the island secured, Japan stood exposed. The road to its homeland was open, and the shadow of the atomic age approached.
On those distant shores rest thousands of souls. Their sacrifice became...
From the fire of war came the lesson of peace, that valor is nothing without humanity, and victory means nothing without mercy.
The ocean remembers. In its waves echo the stories of courage, pain,